So one of the 5 optional themes that students will likely to be interested in will be technology. So the approach is to look at knowledge and technology from a new perspective. So technology might involve practical tools and equipment, but it might also be cognitive tools such as language. So the purpose of looking at technology is to think about how that is impacting on what we know and how we know it. So the topics that we cover are things like big data, artificial intelligence, ethical questions connected with things like driverless cars. And the whole point is not to look at technology itself, but just to look at how technology relates to knowledge and knowing. So increasingly in a fast-paced world where technology is shaping the way we know things and what it means to know something, students will be keen to grapple with the ethical questions, and the course guide is full of activities and examples for how students can unpack questions relating to things like big data and artificial intelligence, and questions arising about personal privacy and surveillance. And we very much hope that the students will respond in a way that will enable them to understand the questions in much more detail.
Reflection is something that students and sometimes teachers do not always appreciate the value of, but reflection is essential for learning. Some of us reflect as a matter of course and may not even be aware that we're doing so, but many of your students will need to develop their reflection skills. I'd like you to take a moment to look at this very short video of heel work training. If this session had been merely experienced, it might be seen as good or poor, depending on what your criteria are. But on its own, the experience would not be a learning experience for the handler, for the dog, or for anyone watching. But as soon as you go to ask what went right, what could the handler have done better? How could the communication between the handler and dog be improved? Learning begins to happen. Many sports people analyse their performance to analyse their techniques or to improve them. And they also analyse their opponents' play to look for weaknesses. This is all part of reflection, and this is why reflection is so important for learning. TOK reflection is not so very different. TOK reflections for this video might include: how does the handler know when the actions are right? Who decides? Are there any ethical questions to be considered? The point here is that reflection, including TOK reflection, is not just relevant to CAS and to your academic subjects. Rather, reflection is a process that is relevant to all interests and all aspects of your life. You'll find reflection activities throughout the course guide.
So another way to make theory of knowledge more relevant to students is relate it to another component of the IB, which is of course the 4,000 word scholarly extended essay. So if students think about how they construct knowledge, obviously they come up with a research question, but they also have to come up with a method. So thinking about the research process through the lens of TOK can make it very engaging. For example, students might explore their research through those 4 aspects of the knowledge framework to look at it in terms of scope, perspectives, tools and methods, and ethics. They might also apply some theory of knowledge concepts. So if they think about the nature of evidence, the nature of justification, or the reliability of their research, they can apply their TOK thinking to the research process and connect those 2 important elements of the IB together, theory of knowledge and extended essay. So there are at least 3 ways that students can connect theory of knowledge with the extended essay. The first way is to connect it with the knowledge framework and those 4 strands. The second way is to think about the relevance with TOK concepts, such as evidence or justification. And then the third way is to think about the research itself and the nature of the conclusions, how far they're justified or what questions might remain unresolved.
We hope this little TOK-bite has got you thinking about how you might engage your students. The new specification is designed to make the course more contemporary and more relevant to your students. Our new series of textbooks are packed with resources, activities, discussions that you can use in the classroom. We really hope that you enjoy the resources we've created.